Hey guys, I've been on Spotlight Sunday today with blending the blind and sighted, and it felt good to put my 2 cents into sighted people's brains, about what legally blind means, as well as share my story and show off my awesome nifty lightsabers. And, I adore, you know, being a nerd despite this disability. And I'd be seeing all these sighted nerds able to read comic books like it's nothing. And here I am, a comic book 2 inches, 1 to 2 inches from my face, squinting and straining. Um, and yeah, I'm currently working with someone in the nerd community right now on a magnifier. Not really working, but I'm contributing to the build, like working alongside the person, you know, in the nerd community, and they're sighted, and he knows a lot about accessibility. In fact, he used to be a disability advocate, which benefits me because now I'll have, somebody for the nerd community as well that understands. Plus, I've been on the Point Extra Lounge several times, and that was pretty fun to share my story with the nerds. Um, and they know as well now that we have a legally blind nerd in the house. um, and the way I read comics is vastly weird than your sighted nerd. Um, I'm mostly on YouTube listening to audio comics, and I read how I read my first audio High Republic comic, Light of the Jedi, on YouTube. And that was a scary yet interesting story. And, as much as I can't read the print novels, audio is always better. How I even have a device from my services for the blind before the world went kaplooey, called an NLS. Now, NLS stands for National Library Service, and I have the device, and I constantly read via audio, and it really helps, avoid straining. I'll even have points where I'll take off my glasses, and just lay there and listen in to the storyline, because you don't have to read anything visually, so yeah. And it helps me a lot, having audio of nearly everything, including audio description. Like I'll be on Disney Plus watching The Mandalorian, watching with audio description. And that really helps me enjoy The Mandalorian just like everybody else, but in a different way. And I'm excited for season 3. I don't know when that'll be though. I'm hoping it'll be soon. I understand due to the virus, things will be lacking, which is to be expected. But good news is, they're having hope for season 3. I hope. And sorry for it just being, boring you to death with description craziness. But the blind don't seem to mind. But But, I have a myriad of books that I love but can't read the print. Like I have the Amazing Spider-Man art of the book. I have the Amazing Spider-Man 2 art of book. And I would always focus on the pictures because I can't read it. And get an idea of the story as well as the behind the scenes and how they possibly made the movie. As well as watching featurettes on YouTube that describe, the director did this, and this. Yeah. I have recently been doing Braille, not too long ago. About mid mid quarantine, I started to get into Braille. Because nobody was helping me. I felt by myself, so I was like, screw it. I'll just, you know, you know, find a way to let my red eye rest and take it easy. Now, if any of you are wondering, do I see any better with my glasses on versus off? And the answer is a tiny bit, but it's to a certain point. My maximum distance in feet is 14 feet, which is not very far unless things are giant, large print. Like for example, this note from Poindexter is 70 size font on this piece of paper in my hands here. Black against white, obviously, but black text against a white background, obviously, but it's 70 size font size. And I do get 3 inches close to be able to get it in focus. And it says, Melissa, I hope you enjoyed this figure of Kane and Joris. And that's a beautiful gift from the Poindexter Lounge. And I do have a MegaCon picture. What you're seeing right now is me at MegaCon wearing a Supergirl cape, Kara Zor-El Supergirl cape, the Kryptonian herself, her cape, and it's from the Kentucky Space Center, or Kennedy Space Center, Kennedy or Kentucky, but if any sighted can see that, that's where, that's who took the photo, the credits of the photo, and that's basically me on Mars. And this was at MegaCon, and it's a pretty beautiful photo. And basically, yeah, I had a lot of, fun at MegaCon, and I got that cape at the convention. Forgot what the price point was, but it was on the cheap side, so yeah. And when it comes to lightsabers, I'll give sabers their own unique video because I could talk about sabers all day. It would make this video go on for weeks and if not millennia. And I really love the way of blending the blind and the sighted because it is teaching the sighted that, hey, duh, the blindness spectrum is a thing, it exists. And yeah, blindness is a spectrum. You have 2200, it starts, you start to get blind around 2200. That's the acuity you start to get blind at. Then you have 2300, 2400, maybe a 25 and a 2600, all the way to total blindness. And then you have the different degrees of visual field. You have peripheral but no central vision. And then you have no peripheral but central vision. And that makes tunnel vision. And tunnel vision is the category I fall under, which means I have no amount of peripheral vision. So if somebody were to do this lame ass test with fingers to the side, I would be clueless. Like I can't even see my own nose. Yeah. Like in my field of view, not counting the webcam, but I can't see my nose. Unless I veer and get it into my central vision as much as possible and see a faint color of my nose. And plus I can feel my nose, but duh. Make weird faces like this. Like an O-shaped mouth and left, right. Like, yeah. And yeah, it's been, and this is how thick, my glasses are. They're pretty thick, as I mentioned on Spotlight Sunday tonight. And this power is a full 19. This power is a full 19. And the Dodgers can't go any higher. I even asked, like, hey, is a full 20 possible? Is a full 21 safe? And they were like, telling me how that doesn't exist. Can't go any higher. Plus, if it were to exist, you'll probably hurt yourself. And yeah, it's not good to put so much power on the one eye, probably period, because all that focus and tension and energy, visual energy is being focused on the one eye, where the other eye is, where the blind eye is just got all the freedom to laze around and be lazy. Where the right eye has to take command. It's like, the presidency or the supreme chancellor, that never gets reelected. So much power on this eye all the time. And that's a risk and a case for what's called eye strain. And or you can put it as, eye fatigue, or, life after sight loss cause it eye fatigue. I say eye strain. But all around, just basically, you're using your eye so much, or it's working so much, that you basically get a headache. And, I would have to constantly take ibuprofen or some sort of pain reducer to reduce the pain. So it's pretty it's not easy having only one eye. And worse if that one eye is just as blind, The right eye has a tiny bit of usable vision. I have a tiny bit of usable vision. But the problem is when you're 2200, like I am, you can't see deep, minute, minuscule, tiny details. Like if I, I'm in a saber community, and if I were to take commissions, I would fail. I would fail at machining, I would fail at soldering, because there's so much you have to be able to see in order to do said job. Which is why, for any of you who are on TRA, I warned I can't take commissions because of my all-around disability. Even if I could build sabers, I would have probably have to have somebody with me in the shop with me, helping me out and watching me to make sure I'm going the right way, to make sure, if what I'm looking at is truly accurate, because I don't know that because I can't see the details. Basically, 2200 is basically detail blindness. You can still see something, but you just can't see the minute, details, like the super deep details. Like pores on people's faces, freckles. I can't see that. Or even depending on how far away they are, the shape of their face is kind of there, but obscured a little bit. And even worse so with the 6 feet apart distancing. It's made me barely able to see the shape of their body. Unless they're wearing a black shirt and a black pair of pants, or black trousers of some sort, I would be able to identify them by what they're wearing. If the person had on high contrast black sweater with black pants, I would have been able to go, oh, there's somebody over there. Not sure how far away they are, but yeah. But not everybody is gonna wear high contrast clothing. So social distancing is hard for somebody of my blindness. Even though I can see something. But outside, I get even more blinded by Mother Nature being a dick, shining the sun onto my face. And I can't control it, so the next thing I do is wear sunglasses. Because that shit would trigger my photophobia. And photophobia is light sensitivity. It's not being afraid or a fear of photographs. It's light sensitivity. If you Google search photo, as in photograph, but photo, and then phobia without a space, and a question mark after phobia, or if you type in photophobia meaning, you'll get an answer. Yeah. Like, I had lots of cases where that happens. I'd be outside and bam, bright ass light in my face. Or eye doctor appointment, the otoscope is turning into a laser for me. Where it feels more like a laser than a light because it starts to hurt. I kind of dubbed it the optic saber because, even though they don't cut or do anything to the eye, it causes pain, And I mean pain as in it triggers my photophobia. and I get it more in the right than the left. Left, I have some light perception. I can see like flashes. If somebody were to shine a big ass light at my left eye, I could sense the feedback a tiny bit from the light. Yeah. I can't tell where the source is, but I can go, oh shit, it's bright. Like, where's that coming from? Yeah. Is that the sun? Is that a big ass flashlight? I never know with my left eye. But the right eye, the mystery is solved. You know, visit, ah, otoscope, sun. Like, yeah. And my vision is so bad, like so severe. Even with glasses, yes, I still use a white cane. No joke. I have to literally, walk out there carefully or with a sighted guide because I'm scared of climbing shit. And yeah, it could be anything. It could be a curve. It can be, you know, a point you where you climb up a little bit, or physical stairs. And climbing stairs, depending on how many flights of stairs there are, it would take me either an hour or more to climb them, which is why I take the elevator a lot as well, because my lungs can't handle it. My asthma, doesn't care if I'm climbing stairs and doesn't care if I'm walking around, you know. That's how bad my asthma is as well. I also cannot read my own medications, which, is very important for somebody to be able to know their medications. And I have one prescription, a couple over the counter medicines, and 2 prescription inhalers. One being prevention and another being a rescue inhaler. And I could mostly tell the inhalers of what they are by color. Like, there is good news. My lung doctor knows I'm legally blind, so he tries to give me color-coded, inhalers the best he can. And designate, one color to mean prevention, designate another color to mean, rescue inhaler. However, there's a tiny dial on the back, a tiny high contrast white text against black dial that I can't even read for shit. So that makes me having to go to somebody with physical working eyeballs, and go, hey, help, how much is left of my inhaler? Like, yeah, being a blind asthmatic is more creepier than it sounds. It's bad enough sighted asthmatics, struggle with their lungs. Try a legally blind asthmatic. Try a blind asthmatic. Not being able to read your inhalers at all and being able to only tell them by color contrast apart, which spells danger. I had a few times, where I overdosed and, nearly risked overdosing because I can't, read the box. And I pushed the issue to my lung doctor bazillions of times, even the pharmacy a tiny bit, like, hey, is there some accessibility? And they would be like, no. and if so, it might be really expensive, which really angers me because, I want to be able to know what the hell I'm taking and how many times a day to take it. Luckily, your doctor will tell you, when it comes to inhalers, your lung doctor will describe how to take the inhaler, how many puffs, and which one is which, and what they're called, as well as how many times a day to take them. And that's a big relief for me because I tell my lung doctor, I can't see. What is this medicine called? What is this medicine called? How many times do I take it? And he'll tell me. And that's the best thing in the world. Like, I walk in the clinic a lot with my cane. So they know, oh, we have a visually impaired asthmatic. Be on guard. Yeah. And that's the best thing in the world to know that, at least even your doctor can understand to some degree, like, oh, you're visually impaired. Your inhaler, your rescue inhaler is this color, your prevention inhaler is this color. Take them this many times a day, this many puffs, and that's pretty reassuring. And I just want to say, all in all, Spotlight Sunday was a pretty fun night tonight. Now, don't be surprised if I post this video the next day because it is probably pretty late here. So, this video might be a little late on upload and it might be already the next day. So, if it ends up being posted the next day, good morning, guys.